back everybody to Jaysoloarts. I'm Jay, and today we're going to be discussing how I pin my miniatures to their base to give them extra security to be attached to the base so they don't fall off if the mini gets knocked on the floor or something like that. Here you see the tools I have laid out. These are kind of my go-tos when it is time to pin a mini to the base. Here we have a pin vise. In that pin vise is a number 56 or a 0.46 size drill bit. We have our mini. We have our base. This here is a secret weapon I use for this all the time. It's a blue poster tack or blue poster putty. We have a metal scribing tool, 18 gauge aluminum wire. This is picture frame hanging wire. It's nice to use because it's strong but flexible. We have my Tamiya handy electric drill. This comes in handy when drilling through the base so you can get all the way through quickly. I use the pin vise for the miniature so as not to drill too quickly and poke through some of the miniature. And then we have our super glue. So I'll get started here. First we'll grab our mini. I'm going to take the scribing tool. I'm going to pick the leg on the miniature, the foot on the miniature that most sits under the center of gravity of the miniature. If this miniature had like a leg extended way out and one leg under the center of gravity, you'd want to use the leg that's most under the center of gravity of the miniature. So I'm going to pick this leg right here, would be his right leg. This guy has some real interesting feet. I'm going to use the scribing tool just to get a pilot hole for my drill bit to go into more easily. Now I have my pin vise holding the miniature. Slowly crank the pin vise and being careful not to poke through the foot or the ankle or the back heel of the miniature. You want to go straight into the meatiest part of the plastic or metal. You can do this with metal also, or resin, whichever your miniature is. You just may have to apply more pressure, be more gentle, whatever the case may be. So kind of routing that out, you want to get in about, maybe 1/8 of an inch or so. Kind of going forward, then turning it, backing it out to kind of give yourself a nice pilot hole to put your aluminum wire into. And I use this size drill bit. Again, it's the number 56 because it seems to work very well with this 18 gauge aluminum wire that I use. All right, setting the miniature down. Here's the secret weapon. You take your base and you take your blue poster tack and you smush that onto your base. Want to get it in somewhat of a thin covering. Also, you want to leave the rim of the base visible so you know where the center is generally about to be, because a pet peeve of mine if the miniature is not centered nicely on the base. All right, that's a pretty thick coat of poster putty. Take your miniature, and this is going to leave you a guide as to where. Let's get him on there, stick him down. Looks like he's somewhat well centered. We'll kind of adjust it there. Move him over. That looks pretty good. Now apply enough pressure so that the poster putty will go up into that pilot hole and give you a guide as to where to drill. So you can see right here, that spot right there, moving up. There's still even a little bit of plastic stuck to it because it helped pull some of the drilled out plastic out of the hole we drilled. That is where we're going to use the my handy drill to quickly go through. All right, line that up. Okay. Smush and then drill. All right, we have cleared that. Now we remove the poster tack. Use this stuff quite a bit, so it's a little stickier than normal fresh poster tack. I use this stuff all the time. This is a great tool for hobbying. It's miniatures or scale models. And then you can see, kind of tough to, there, you can see the hole in the mini base, pardon me. Now I come back through, bring the pin vise back, and just kind of route that hole out a little bit so you can make sure that your aluminum wire will go through there. All right, now here we have a piece of that aluminum wire. You can see it there. Trimmed off about a 3/8 length of the 18 gauge aluminum picture frame hanging wire. And we're just going to give it a check to see if it needs a little more. Yeah, it needs a little more routing out. We don't want to have to put too much pressure on the mini when we go to base it. So maybe come back from the back side, make sure all that plastic's out of the way so we have a nice clean hole for our pin. And there we see, popped right through. See the 18 gauge wire going through there. All right, now we come back with our mini. We do the same thing. Check and see that the hole we've drilled in his foot and leg is deep enough, wide enough for the wire. Still need to do a little more routing in this. Get in there, apply a little more pressure. We can see we're removing a little bit more of that material. There we go. Backwards and forwards, making sure we're not coming up through the toe or the heel or the ankle. All right, now let's try that again. And that does seem to be fitting. All right, now super glue time. Just want to use a small bit of super glue on the foot, right over the hole. Just a touch there, not too much because this stuff will spread. Grabbing our wire, coming back. We got a little bit much there. Let's go ahead and put some on the other foot. Spread that around a little bit. All right. Get that in there. Bring back our base. Orient the mini the way we want it, so when we go straight down, the glue will be not leaving a smear of glue. We push through, and there we go. He's now on there. And you can see underneath our wire poking through. Now I want to give him some time. Oops, our mini arm fell off. I haven't glued this guy together because I want to do him in some sub-assemblies when I go to paint him later. Applying some pressure, allowing that super glue to set up for just a moment, and I will get back to you guys after that's happened. All right, everybody, we're back. That was about 5 minutes for me, about no time for you guys, but we just let that glue set up just enough so that we can then bend this wire here so we can get a little hook so that it grabs the bottom of the base. It's not just poking through the base, but it's actually hooked underneath the base to give it that extra security from falling off if it were to get knocked off a table and hit the floor. So we want to just gently apply pressure down on the mini so he doesn't pop up, And we're going to just bend that wire like so. So there you can see it's bent and secure. He's still on there, still glued down well. All right, now we come back. You want to leave that wire a little bit long. Like I said, about 3/8 of an inch is enough, so that it leaves you enough to be able to bend it, because if it gets too short, it's very difficult to bend. And if the excess is hanging out, we can just come through with a simple wire snip and trim that off so that you have a nice pinned mini base, just like that. He's on there good. Hammerhead's looking good. All right, he's secure. If you want to be a little extra precautious, you can come back through with your super glue and just add a little super glue to the mini base on the bottom, covering the pin, just like that. That way that pin is not going to go anywhere. All right, so there you have it. How I pin my minis to my base for extra security when being knocked off a table or being lugged around through mini storage cases, things like that. Just making sure your mini is securely pinned to his base or her base or its base. Thank you guys for watching. This is Jaysoloarts. I'm Jay. If you like this video, please hit the like button. You can subscribe. That's always appreciated. Any comments? Don't mind those either. You can follow me on social media at Facebook, Jaysoloarts with a capital J, and on Instagram, Jaysoloarts with a lowercase j. That's Jaysoloarts. Thank you very much for watching, guys. We'll see you later.